Bullshit.
Hello, Internet. We're live on No Bullshit 2 talking about Ocean's 8. Ocean's 8 came out tonight. All-female Ocean's 11 reboot. First thoughts, gentlemen.
Well, technically, it's not a reboot. It's
a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Yeah, that's true. I kept saying it was a reboot. Yeah, we got a little echo, but it's okay. Yeah, it's technically a sequel, a side sequel.
Yeah. Well, it's a continuation of
spiritual reboot in a lot of ways, like because it hits a lot of the same beats as the first Oceans.
Yeah, I mean it's it's a brother and sister, sister to Danny Ocean.
See the comments. Anybody listening yet? Let me see comments. Okay, no one's listening right now, so let's do an unorthodox start of the What the Folk show. I didn't get much quiet time. We'll imagine the quiet time, and I'll do it in editing thanks to Audacity and SoundCloud. What the Folk show, witty informational conversation. This conversation is going to be about Ocean's 8. Was it better or worse than Ocean's 9, 10, 11, 12, 14? I don't know. But we're going to find out. If you like heists, if you like females or males, if you like humans in general, you might like this episode. Thanks for fucking listening. Let's get back into this no bullshit What the Folk show live stream.
You don't know? You saw all the movies.
I don't really remember what I watched,
Just now?
A lot has happened recently. Did you see that video you made about Rachel Dizelle and all the welfare fraud?
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Made it.
I feel like you're coming late to the party. She's been busted for a lot of things like a long time ago, right?
I don't really pay attention to racial news.
Well, she got busted in general.
Had a news story that came out a week ago.
Yeah,
she's already been indicted for other things.
Can you flip that switch right there?
So she's had some issues already. So
yeah, she's in the news. She's been kind of getting in trouble with welfare fraud, but Ocean's 8.
Throwing some curveballs. He wanted to get you off your game.
The movie overall felt kind of fraudulent, trying to be a good heist movie. Is what I would say.
I agree.
I'm gonna have the negative point of view here on this podcast you're listening to. I was the biggest fan of Ocean's 8 just because I think it was extremely simple and didn't really try to do anything. So Upgrade last week, for example, if you listen to that podcast, that was kind of an innovative in a way. It was kind of the same. It was artificial intelligence taking over, but then there were some twists and things that you kind of liked. Whereas this heist movie, nothing new.
It was just bland and like every other kind of heist movie, but not as good. Like not any. I mean, there's some fun to it. There's some jokes. Like I like the heist humor, which reminds me of Ocean's 11, but it totally like pales in comparison to the originals.
Yeah. Well, the girl who played George Clooney, she didn't do as good a job as George Clooney, and then the Brad Pitt girl, she was less Brad Pitt, a little too Kate Blanchett-like, Yeah,
I don't think they were trying to embrace. They're trying to do new characters. I don't think they were trying to embrace those.
Not at all. I think the tattoos.
They had those archetype almost things, like where it was. They
like you need that, I guess, for a heist movie, right? You need those
certain personalities, but it was like from what you were saying, it was kind of like there's the leader and then his number two, and then there's like the people they pick up. There's like a computer person. There's a person that does pickpocketing. Yeah. So they had like those roles.
The whole team. I like to compare it to the Ocean's movies because that's slightly inappropriate, but I think funny and public relations and like putting things out there that either making people happy or sad or like how you get known. I'm trying to start like a pretty big podcast right now. I don't know if you know, we did a review on Pokemon a few years back when that was a big deal. So if anybody likes Pokemon, we did a Pokemon review of that app, and we also did a review on the movie Upgrade, and we're doing Ocean's 8, but
what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
It's self-plugging right now. I mean, I love it.
I'm just self-plugging.
We did a review on Pokemon?
We did. Pokemon Go, bro.
Pokemon Go, like years ago. Oh, so I'm just bringing things back. So people right now are questioning, should I keep listening to this that I found on SoundCloud and iTunes?
Let's just get this. He really did not like the movie, so he just does not want
to. We were like freeform, just like whatever he inspired, just like jumping on.
Great channel, by the way, freeform.
Dude, tonight was Cloak and Dagger's premiere. I'm very excited.
Cloak and Dagger on freeform. Check it out.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Cloak and Dagger. Dagger shot through the heart.
Cloak.
Song by Pat Benatar.
By John
Benatar was born in the 80s.
By John Bowie.
I was gonna say, wasn't it John Ben Jovi?
What if we? If people are listening right now, we got Aztec Dragon, friend and forever. Thanks for listening. If you've seen the Ocean's movies, you know what you're about to watch. But I think we can get into the fact that let's start with the director, Gary Ross. Kind of whatever movies. You're right. Before we went, I kind of read the movie. I was like, I'm actually less excited for this movie now. So Pleasantville, Hunger Games 1, Free State of Jones, Matthew McConaughey movie, Civil War. That was very disappointing. So overall, his track record really wasn't that great.
Gary Ross,
yeah.
I think he's got a hit or miss record. I mean, some stuff is inarguably huge. Hunger Games is like a big hit.
Yeah.
Pleasantville was pretty good too. I liked.
Pleasantville's probably the best.
Pleasantville's like a classic, like more artistic movie for sure. Yeah, but I think this movie, like as far as him and like direction, it was like okay direction. It kind of hit on that style of Ocean sometimes, and it got like a passable look. But the stuff, the content didn't like fill it enough, you know. Like it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, they threw in the song that sounds like an Ocean song. They threw in some of the edits, the titles, that kind of little stuff. There were some details. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't have any kind of like oomph to back it up.
No oomph. Did you feel any oomph, Nico Fashizzle? On YouTube, filmmaker.
This is like the first one flame movie. I want to say at least 2. But it could be like a 1-star.
Whoa, bro. We're not at the ratings yet. Hashtag spoilers.
Nico Fashizzle, you're also negative. Give me some of your negativity. Let's throw it out there.
I mean, it was just okay. I mean, I feel like a lot of the actors were underutilized, especially Kate Blanchett. Like, she did not get a lot
underutilized.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like Awkwafina got more lines or better
material to work with
than
Okay.
More personality.
If you could have replaced any of the actresses, or I guess actors is the term you'd use in 2018, who would you replace?
I don't like Awkwafina at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like her.
Can I ask you, let's get on the line, is that because she's Asian and playing the Asian role? No. I'm just wondering.
I feel like that's not even the typical Asian role. It's just like,
okay,
I don't like those
very
type of ghetto characters.
Okay.
I hated her too.
Yeah.
Obnoxious. Like,
I hated her look too. Like, she reminded me of another problem in the movie, like getting to the cast. It was just like, the whole cast was very like bland. None of them were hot or like well or good at acting. Like they all kind of like blended together. I mean, they are talented individually.
A few of them were hot.
Acting.
Like, I mean, there was some attraction.
Well, okay, let's talk about it because so this is something I was saying coming out of the theater where it was like funny because the original Oceans, like it had the guys in their prime.
Yeah.
And they were like 30s, 35. They look great. Like the guys looked awesome. I'm not being gay, no homo, but like it's like they look great in Oceans. They're in their prime. But then we are in Oceans 8, and it's like all old ladies, and they're also like half of them are lesbians, and then they also dress like dudes.
I mean,
there's no hotties.
Well, I think
a total letdown.
A big difference of what you're saying is okay. You're saying Ocean's 11. For example, right?
It's Grandma's 11, friended forever.
Grandma's
that's what I was trying to get. That's why I needed that.
Ocean's 11 is Ocean's. It would be Grandma's 8, if anything.
Yeah, Grandma's boy 8.
Okay, so the biggest reason why, and a lot of people could say this watching this, why was Ocean's 11 more aesthetically pleasing? Why did everybody seem to be more attractive as opposed to this? Is because film versus digital. So I think that's the biggest. Yes.
The people.
Ocean's 11 was filmed.
What the cameras were.
Was filmed, yeah.
As soon as Ocean's 12 came out, I noticed all the imperfections of the actors.
Soderbergh went digital.
He went digital starting Ocean's 12.
Oh,
if you watch those movies, Ocean's 11, see, that's why I fucking said it on the What the Folk Show, No Bullshit Podcast, is because that is a very aesthetically pleasing movie. There's no imperfections on anybody's face.
Yeah.
Get into Ocean's 12, you're like,
yeah.
Brad Pitt is like got wrinkles up the yin yang.
It's a digital man.
Julia Roberts post pregnancy, whatever you want to call it, she's not really that hot. You know, I'm watching this and I'm like, Anne Hathaway, she's lived. Like you can see Helena Bonham Carter, the neck is starting to come in. You know, the age is starting to show. So yeah, this movie. I don't think this movie was supposed to be like, oh, these are attractive women necessarily. I don't think you were supposed to think of that. You're like, oh, look how cool they are. Kate Blanchett, I thought was the worst way. The way they dressed her, the costume overall.
Clothes the whole time.
I hated. I thought about in like the writing room, or at least in like when they did the visuals. You know, like, oh, we're gonna set you like this. You'll be this character. You'll kind of have this twinge or attitude. I just didn't like the way they went with her. She was so over the top. So many bracelets and
like
necklaces.
Her and Sandra Bullock were lesbians.
Kind of, yeah. There were some.
Were they lesbians?
There was some shit.
No,
it wasn't as friendly.
That's just
everyone looked like lesbians.
That's just a relationship of.
I thought they were romantic.
It seemed that there was some. I will pick up on that. There was little romance vibes coming out.
She fed her at one point. I'm like, oh, did they fuck?
Yeah, like her exes or.
Well, everyone's pansexual now.
Yeah, that ex was definitely.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they were trying to imply. I think that's
you own an art gallery,
reaching a little bit.
Yeah.
Come on,
I'll give you this. Like, if you were to replace anybody earlier, I would replace the writer and the director because you're right. The director was very safe. A lot of things he did was very safe, and he stuck to the Soderbergh
sharp pen
script.
to your face. You got one movie to make. You want to make $80 million total. Shark pen. Sorry, shut up until I say talk, please. Okay, talk, please, in 5 seconds. When I say Joe Johnson or Gary Ross, who do you want? 5 seconds before you die.
For what?
For just the movie in general, you have $80 million budget. Joe Johnson. Boom.
Never heard of him.
He's that bad that the director of Captain America 1, which is a theme running on this show, Captain America 1 fucking sucks.
It's a good movie.
Sucks.
The Rocketeer.
one good movie. Rocketeer was awesome. Rocketeer was a great movie.
Yeah.
Be real, you guys are at AA tonight. No.
They don't let us bring the mics in anymore.
We might turn to drinking after
might
this.
turn to drinking after this.
Do
we know? Okay, well, this guy asked.
Friended's a buddy of mine.
Aztec Dragon. No, it was Friended Forever. He asked, my favorite movie is Rubber. I don't know that one.
Oh, dude.
Rubber,
The tire.
movie.
Yeah, Tire has telepathic powers.
The Tire? Is that a Stephen King movie?
It's a
No.
movie. It's like really independent.
Okay, why don't you guys talk about it? You guys know it? You guys give it your expert point of view right now? What is
it?
I actually haven't seen it.
I was watching like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, this is not for me.
Is the tire just rolling around?
Yeah, I mean,
really
for the trailer, the trailer looks dope because it's basically a tire that like sets out and starts like blowing people's heads off.
Yeah.
It's like
I heard it was like crazy.
Oh, because it makes a noise?
it like literally shakes the tire. It's pretty creative.
That sounds legit. Okay.
I don't understand.
Tire movie. Probably had as much charisma as Sandra Bullock did in this movie.
Dude, that's what I was gonna say too. You were saying that earlier, like I forget what it was talking about the acting, but yeah, I was thinking like a lot of times Sandra Bullock was basically just sitting in front of the camera.
Yeah,
like she wasn't like acting. I don't know what I would expect her to do, like because it might have been the direction.
She was probably they're like, here, we want you to be really cool. Let's play really cool, but she's just like,
I'm just like, oh my god. And then the other scene. Okay, this isn't a spoiler, but it's at the end. And it's just random. All of a sudden, they're all on that train, right? And this is exactly the same kind of thing. They're all just sitting there, like trying to look cool. The worst one that made me cringe so hard was like Mindy Kaling. In one shot, she's like the third person they go to, and she's like trying to look cool. And she has her stupid glasses on, and I'm just like, oh my god, I hate her.
That's a bad green.
In this one too, there was less, and I don't mean to be douchey because this isn't a sex thing. It really isn't, or a gender thing. But it just looked like they put less work into it than Danny did in Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
It looked like everything went perfect for them.
Yeah.
Like there were no hiccups. Yeah, no hiccups.
There's like one hiccup, and then they easily rectified.
They planned for it because they had plans.
Well, I mean, it was easily rectified by
a bit of a spoiler.
Oh.
If I would have given them any advice, I would say, show us more of you and Danny as kids. Give me some flashbacks. Maybe show me more about the ocean world. Because they mentioned multiple times the grandfather,
the dad,
aunt. Yeah, no, the aunt was the one who wasn't in it, but the whole family was in on it.
Yeah.
That's a whole movie right there.
Yeah.
You know? So
the other thing I didn't like, though, in that same vein was like, it was like they explained too much sometimes. Like it wasn't like focused on the heist. This might have been just like a pacing thing. But like towards the end, right? Like the heist in the main event is like not close enough to the end of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like 3/4 through the movie. And then they have this whole other thing where they're like investigating and like, it just seems like it drags on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been shorter. It wasn't like ending with a big pop like the other Ocean's movies or just even like other heist movies. Like it just seems like they'll end harder. This one, it kind of like ended and then it kind of peaked and then came down and ended on like a whimper.
I get that. When the reveal with who was the eighth. This is the No Bullshit What the Folk Show. What the Folk Show, No Bullshit YouTube live stream. Thinking that Ocean's 8 wise, I'd give it a 7 out of 8.
What?
I'm acting. I wouldn't. I'd give it a 1 out of 8.
Oh wow,
He's a great actor.
You really didn't like
I think I give it a 1 too. Like I mean, out of like 5, 1 out of 5. It's like, yeah, it wouldn't really.
Well, didn't you give like another movie that was actually watchable at 1 recently?
No, I never gave a 1.
No, that's a lie. What was it?
I gave Upgrade a 2.
He does 2.
Oh yeah, that's so crazy.
I kind of wanted to. I went back and forth on that, like maybe a 3, but I went with the 2.
Yeah, but out of 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 4. So Upgrade,
like, I was saying, and that's what I said last week. Like, I think since it's out of 5, it's like a 2 or a 3 are still, you could still watch it. They could be decent. It's just like not what you like.
Yeah.
1s are like not good. Like I think this is possibly a solid 1. Not in a good way. Not in a good way.
Let me ask you guys. So it's supposed to be informational as well, right? So at Nico, according to me, and this my WTF show. What would you do if you could commit a heist right now? What would you go after? Any kind of advice for anybody out there listening? Like, what should I heist? Should I do the Met Gala or a bank? What do you think is the first thing you would rob?
I don't know.
This is your chance to give people ideas. They might send you a cut.
First thing you don't say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
No one's listening.
No one's listening.
Let's go to the where's the Mona Lisa located?
Where's the Mona Lisa?
The Louvre.
Yeah. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
It's a good one.
Miguel, you go.
I would have to do the Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve, like in what what was that Gerard Butler movie?
Yes, which I did not see.
Den of Thieves far better than
fun.
Ocean's 8.
I like that.
Den of Thieves was legit.
Dude,
Better twist at the end too.
And that's the thing. I didn't get to say this yet. It's definitely not live. Like I really like heist movies. That's why I'm so bummed here.
Yeah.
Because like me and my bro, like we watch heist movies. Like that's our favorite genre. And
I've never watched any heist movies with you.
I said bro. I meant my brother. But yeah.
I was gonna say, you calling other people bro now? That's not cool.
No, but like I'm just saying, it's one of my favorite genres. And to see this kind of like weak attempt at it, it just sucks. And it sucks that it was like the girls' version because now it's like. We're in that awkward position like when Ghostbusters came out, to be like, okay, we're going to say this is shitty, but everyone's going to say we're sexist.
Yeah. Definitely better than Ghostbusters.
I'll have to say, we should definitely watch the movie Hurricane Heist now.
That's what I was thinking.
And see which one is
now
better.
We're in this heist talk. I kind of want to get into any movie with heist.
I could talk more heist.
You know,
I could talk
the heist. The Tower Heist.
The one I really like.
Heist with Gene Hackman.
Tower Heist is good.
Tower Heist.
See, I'm on the outskirts. I don't like that movie.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. I don't like Brett Ratner.
I like comedy
right now.
heist.
I don't like Brett
There's
Ratner.
like a whole bunch of genres of heist. Like I've seen them all, but the other one that's kind of recent is Bank Job.
Solo.
Wait, what's it? That's been a while, but yeah.
I mean,
Solo's
it's like
technically a
5
heist
years,
movie.
so, yeah.
He still hasn't seen Solo though, so
I still
we
haven't
can't
seen
talk
Solo.
about it. Ant-Man's heist.
Solo is a heist movie.
Solo's
That's
a
true.
heist
It's like partly heist movie.
Okay. Technically, Rogue One is also a heist movie.
True. Star Wars and heist movies, like Disney stole from everyone.
Yes.
So like
the Italian Job, also a good.
Job.
So some people are talking about places they would heist.
Oh, nice.
And a friend says Area 51.
Oh,
smart.
Nice.
Get some high technology. Aztec says Obama's secret diamond mine.
Secret diamond mine. I know where that. It's up near Palmdale, in California. Actually,
he collected a lot of wealth.
A lot of blood diamonds.
A lot of blood diamonds.
A lot of blood diamonds.
Diamond with blood inside of it. Blood of the elite.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you get to that certain point.
Yeah.
You get to the blood of the elite.
Okay. What about some of the? Do we get into trailers at all? Because I feel like I can open up a little bit on the trailers. There's still into Oceans.
No, I think we've pretty much. Okay, why don't we just give it a review?
Have we transversed the oceans of the 8?
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. So, Brooke, no bullshit.
Anything else we can say that's shitty about it? Rihanna's accent.
Oh, dude, that's true.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Minnie Killing's face.
I was gonna say I hate Minnie.
Well, she is technically
She's a barbarian.
No, they're Barbados. She's from there, and that's her actual accent.
Yeah. Leave it as Barbados.
Here's the thing.
I was like, that's her actual accent.
No,
that's real.
I love it.
About Rihanna was
so at the line.
Was such a fucking like Rasta stereotype. It looked like something like that from the 90s.
Okay,
like
I've actually worked with her.
Yeah.
That's her real person, dude. She smokes those fat joints and fucking just lays around and does nothing.
That's probably
it still doesn't change it.
Like, that was a fat joint. That was huge.
She looks like a Bob Marley stereotype. Like just like she even had that big joint. Like it looked so ridiculous. I was like, did they really put this in a movie
that was a really fat joint.
Just came out?
I thought it would have been funny in that scene too, which is it kind of lacked a lot of humor. I thought I was hoping that Sandra Bullock was going to join her on the joint and then have like a whole funny 5 minutes of like them all like, oh, I've never done this jokes. Yeah. Oh, look what I see. I never noticed my hand look like this. Yeah. Like I don't know. It was safe. But there's like you said, Tower Heist, for example. Yeah, I think that's a good example because Tower Heist was safe, but it was still solid because the acting was good, the ensemble, humor.
They had like
and
they had like hiccups
moving
in
parts.
Heist where they had to overcome during the heist.
You know what else is like that reminds me of is like the hiccups is definitely like the tension.
Yeah, the tension.
Like there's no tension in this one today.
Yeah, no tension.
Like it was just like it all happened. They just showed you it happening.
Like it was like the perfect plan, except.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
point.
Like
apparently, women can get plans right. Men apparently can't, guys.
Is that what it means?
That's what they're doing to us.
No problems.
So that's what it is. No problems with ladies.
They can't get their
she spent 5 years and 6 months thinking about. Danny spent like 6 months out of his 10 years.
Can I say something about their cameras?
You can say something. Just raise your hand. Can you raise your hand?
Can you raise your hand, please? The audience needs to see.
Okay. Right. Nico Fascissel's raising his hand.
So they have like the best cameras. Like, do you see like whenever they go to a webcam or like they look at their iPhone,
so
that
clear.
bugs me so much. I'm like, what cameras are these?
Is that nice?
What about the angle that she was shooting out of her pocket?
The angle is like, whoa, you got really close.
Perfect.
There. It looked perfect.
Yeah. Maybe they're just also women are better at heisting and camera work. While heisting. So overall,
it's 2018.
Yeah.
Women are funny. Get over it.
Yeah. It's happened.
Hashtag 2018.
Hashtag 2000. Where was Kristen Wiig in this movie? Where was Melissa McCarthy?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Those are the women. Those are the women that
The
I. Where was Leslie Jones?
Ghostbusters.
Those are the women that I want
Where's
in a
Catherine-
reboot movie. I'm telling you, if they were in a
Kenny?
movie, it would be a successful, high box office affair. Okay.
Dude, it
So
would've
when everybody,
been
you should have the
successful.
director of Bridesmaids too. Make it. Probably be great.
I actually-
Directed Ghostbusters. That's like the worst idea.
That's the
you've
joke
ever
that
had.
I-
Ghostbusters.
That's what I'm trying. That's the
That's
joke.
what I was doing.
Ghostbusters.
Here on the Folk Show, no bullshit. Stepped on my joke. 19
Yep.
minutes in,
Yep.
or depending on when you're listening to when editing happened.
But no, I think that the cast, it was like mainly cast. Like I wouldn't say these girls are all bad, but the way it turned out, it was just like super bland.
They didn't give him enough
Like,
screen time, even though it's 2 hours of a movie.
That's
You're right. He was saying earlier. They don't have enough to work with. The material's not there for all of them to work with, and you have a lot of these talented women, and they just weren't able to do.
So how did they make it work
Themselves.
in Ocean's 11? Because it was just like everyone popped there, like they all had their moments.
I
It
feel
was
like
just like
they gave them scenes to bounce off each other.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of them bouncing off each other, like during like planning scenes, during them
Mhm.
talking. More just like, okay, here's the plan,
You do this part. You do this part.
and then
Yeah.
then we showed the movie.
they were like
So they're doing
separated.
parts, yeah.
That's what happens when you reduce a few numbers. You get
No,
Ocean's 8.
That's a great point,
compared to
though,
Ocean's
because
11.
in the Oceans franchise, the original ones, the superior ones, we would say here, you can tweet us if you don't like it, at Nico Fishizzle, at McNugget, at Brooks Headley, at
31.
my WTF show.
McNugget
Speak
31.
up.
Oh,
You
it's
raised-
louder. At my WTF show.
You
If I didn't say that.
whispering.
SoundCloud and iTunes and all the other ones. Is they had their own stories and they also had their own scenes. They started teaming up,
Mhm.
right? And they had like favorites and friends, so, like Scott.
Well, yeah,
Conn,
they already
Casey
knew each
Affleck.
other.
Yeah,
They were already like,
Yeah.
and somehow
They were like
they
old friends.
were all
sometimes.
criminals
Yeah.
already.
Don
and they
Cheadle
all-
would hang out with like Saul more, I
Yeah.
guess. Like they all kind of had their teams split
Yeah.
off, which kind of like if you think a great movie that did do a good ensemble cast that wasn't all female. Unfortunately, I hope the sequel was Infinity Wars. You know, because they had a lot of different characters coming in. And
Dude,
that
you guys
really
see the-
worked.
One can hope. One can hope.
Well, did you guys see the leaked concept
Oh,
art
it looks so cool.
for Avengers 4?
No, what is
It
it?
looks sick.
It looks dope. Like it looks like they show like Hulk in the actual Hulk form, but he looks more like Bruce Banner. So like there's a theory about he's gonna become Professor Hulk, and then there's like Ant-Man's in there, but no Wasp. So it's like,
Wonder
should she make it
looks
out?
like
Oh, she dies.
busted out
Yeah,
of an anime.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Speaking of points, do you guys want to give this a point grading?
Sure, we can do
A
that.
grade plus a rating, a grading.
Go for it, Brooks.
One flame.
We gave it the one
out of,
flame.
out of 5
It
flames.
happened.
So
Yeah.
that's 2 out of 10.
Sounds like good math to me.
2 flames, not enough to really boil anything. Maybe cook some macaroni already made.
really,
macaroni.
really a long
You need to
time
know.
to do it. Yeah.
Who wants to go next here?
I will give it.
And who are you? So people know the voice.
I'm McNugget 31.
Mig Nugget.
Yes.
A Mig,
Mig
with a
Nugget.
G. M-I-G.
MIG.
Okay.
MSG?
Yes.
MSG.
You definitely find a lot of MSG in there.
Makes a lot of sense.
I'd probably give it like a 5.5.
5.5
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yes.
That's can't graduate with.
I mean, I'd say honestly, to me, it's better than Ocean's 12, and I hate Ocean's 12 though.
yeah, Ocean's 12 was pretty
I
bad.
really hate
The
Ocean's
twist
12.
was better in Ocean's 12 though than this one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
and the bad guy was better.
See, that's the one I hated the most. I hated
He's a
that
good
bad guy.
though.
I
He's
just
not
hate him.
bad.
All right.
At Nico Fishizzle.
I would give it. Stream it. Just stream it.
Stream it on a legal site or stream it on like a on-demand HBO when you have the subscription.
I say illegal.
A legal
Yeah,
site.
just
Yeah.
Okay.
pirate it.
Okay.
He's recommending a crime.
He's
Heist.
Wait,
con,
wait.
con them.
Wait for way to go. You know, incriminating him like that, Connor. I mean, not what the Falk show.
What's your rating? What the fuck?
22 minutes in. Okay. My rating.
Let's pause.
Looking for the editing so I can get my name out there. Cut it out. Rating wise, I give it 3 nitroglycerin flames. If that's a thing. What I'm seeing in my head, I don't know if I'm saying the right words for it, but it's like it looks like fire, but it's like cold. So
Okay.
Blue fire.
blue fire.
3 blue fires.
Three
Does it
blue,
blue fire?
3 blue fires out of 12.
Blue fires.
So 1 out of 4.
Kind of, yeah.
1 out of 4. Okay.
If you want to get into, I'm not a math
Decimals
person.
and fractions.
I don't know a lot about dentistry, but if you
One,
want to
two,
get
five.
into 1 out of 4, then I guess that's what I picked.
All right. So it's a pretty low ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Definitely matching the low energy that's also happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the low.
You feel low
energy?
I'm just having a conversation right now. Am I supposed to be clapping and yelling? These people are entertained.
No, but it is true. Like the movie's low energy. It's like-
Actually, kind of.
it ends low energy. And It's
Yeah.
like that's part of what I was talking about, where it like peaks early and then just kind of like putters out. It's like that, and then even when it's in the highlight of it, it's like it's not really that fast paced. Like they try to make it like a little bit. There's a few like handoffs and this, but it never really like picks up.
Sorry for my inopportune lapse, just because we have Zero Depressive with the V. It said he rated it like 3 purple dildos, and then you were like, it peaks and then it just kind of putters out, and I was like, okay, it kind of. So yeah, I give it 3 dildos.
3 dildos is a fair rating.
The ones that get rusty too fast, on Amazon, you couldn't look them out.
I don't know what kind of dildo rusts. That's a fucking metal dildo, bro. You gotta watch out with that shit.
A metal one.
If you were casting a softball team.
Okay. Are we actually gonna play, or is it like a photo shoot?
Is this a
stay with me?
Is this a mixed race?
Casting made me think
gender?
You're recruiting for a softball team.
Okay.
How many lesbians do you put on that team?
How many spots are there?
Well, is it male, female?
There's 9 spots on the field, and you got 2 on the bench.
Is it co-ed?
6 spots need to be.
But no,
half lesbian.
You're not telling me. Is it co-ed or is it all female or what is it?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Well then,
all dudes and
one lesbian.
See, that's sexist. You make it all dudes.
Do you really think dudes are better than lesbians at softball?
Yeah, come on, man.
Well, we're talking about intramural softball.
Dudes don't play softball. That's gay.
Apparently, you've never worked at a business before, bro. Because there's company softball games all the time.
Are there? Do you ever see them happening?
51 Minds has one.
Have you ever played in it?
I'm one to sign up.
So until I see you playing it, I will not believe that there are any softball games happening anywhere.
The World Series, you got to see to believe. World Series is happening right now.
Kind of person.
Sure.
So
College World Series.
Ocean's 8 is the softball team.
Nice.
And Connor casted them half lesbian, and that's what I think it was.
What the Falk Show? That's what we're going here. When I'm talking about lesbians and dildos and those kind of things, what the Falk Show is what you call it.
I'm not talking to you. I was talking to this other guy.
Oh, okay. I don't know where he is, but get him out of here.
Get this guy out.
But anyway, it was just like half of the Ocean's 8 were lesbians.
I was kind of hoping.
What? I told
you to the side because to start it, Sandra Bullock talks about she loved the wrong person, and I was like, watch 2018. She fell in love with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
And that's why she's trying to get back at her, because Anne Hathaway like broke her heart. Because Anne Hathaway's a heart. Everyone knows this that Anne Hathaway breaks.
But it was the dwarf from Hobbit.
Oh, he's the worst. He's the worst.
Can you imagine if Ocean's 11 had like Brad Pitt and George Clooney flirting?
Yeah,
like the way this one was.
They weren't flirting though. I don't think that was a flirting scene.
Yeah.
I think you guys were reading too much into just.
It did seem there was a little tension. Nico, did you pick up on any? They might kiss. They might not.
They were friends.
They might kissing friends.
No
kissing friends.
No kissing friends.
Take them to a dormitory in college.
Feel like you guys are hoping for something
platonic. I wouldn't want to watch that.
No, they're too old.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows what the situation is?
I was gonna say. I thought maybe they might have to worry about, getting their time of the month during this heist.
You did say that.
But half the cast can't even get their periods anymore.
Oh fuck. That's a major burn.
Wow. It's called menopause.
That's mean, but that's funny. Let's be honest.
It's very truthful.
And it's also true.
It's true.
I think if they made probably like 3
Women
to 5
have so many eggs.
3 to 5 million per actor, a lot more for Sandra and Kate. I think we can make those jokes and they'll be all right.
Oh,
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes with a small cameo. Richard Armitage, though, not a big fan of his. He played the love interest of Sandra Bullock. He was in the worst movie in the world I talked about, Captain America: The First Avenger. Falcon sucks. What the Falk Show hates Captain America: The First Avenger. You tell all your friends. I'll get into any arguments about it.
Everyone needs to know this.
And he was the midget guy. No, the dwarf. What do you dwarf?
He was
He was the dwarf. Yeah, but not a cool dwarf.
He was the king dwarf.
One of the selfish dwarfs who makes diamonds and gold that you don't need. Like big stout shoes. We could feed the hungry with that. So let's try to help the people here.
Hey, that was their economy.
He ruined the Hobbit.
Their economy was to provide gold for the rest of the world. So
if he was in Ocean's 8, it would be the greatest movie since
Sliced Bread.
Upgrade.
So I want to talk about the cast.
Storm Chasers.
So the other thing I was going to say, we were talking about their looks earlier, and I was talking about how old they are. Let's talk about this.
So you're telling me Sandra Bullock was laying out there.
She's still pretty.
Totally naked.
We're the wrong people to ask. We're literally we got rings on our
You have a free pass weekend.
She's pretty.
And she's just ready to go. You're going to say no thank you, ma'am.
No,
free pass weekend?
I would.
Free pass weekend, I'm going after her. I would be aiming higher for sure.
No, it's like.
But that's your option, though.
That's the option you get. She's hot. You would still bang her, but it's just like, you have instincts. Anyway, here's the other thing I want to talk about is the Rihanna and Aquafina were like.
Is that really what her name's pronounced? Aquafina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like
more of a Dasani fan.
I'm like a Crystal Geyser.
Busy with another movie.
Yeah.
So couldn't hire her.
Deja Blue is booked until next year.
Trying to get Fiji.
But Fiji's super high in demand right now.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Arrowhead just isn't high enough in quality.
Nobody wants Arrowhead. Nobody wants to work with that anymore. Nobody wants that.
Sorry.
I got
gotta be talking about water.
Water.
That's good.
But no. Aquafina and Rihanna are on the crew, and they're actually pretty in real life. But in the movie, they're both dressed down and like they dress boyish.
Yeah.
Like Aquafina legit looked like a boy half the time, like a lady boy. Like in
Lady boy.
Seriously, she did. Dude,
Maybe
like,
that's why she was supposed to go in both bathrooms.
The waiter, like when she's the waiter and she's like, dude.
I think that was purposeful.
She has a very deep voice. Is she a lady boy?
No. But like she
could be a Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's actually funny too. Like she just in this movie they dress them both like mannish, and everyone is like a little bit, but like those two especially, like Rihanna's hot. Like I think we said that earlier. Like Rihanna's hot, but not in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What's her name? 8 Ball?
9 Ball. Which is a switch because they have so many 8 balls in movies. Like, we'll make it with the 9 ball.
Well, that's because she was like, oh, I'm not gonna call her that. So she's like, I'm calling her 9 Ball.
So she said.
So she changed her name for her.
I thought.
So she even changed the ball she was using for the mouse based on what Sandra Bullock said.
Yeah,
that's a little much. But yeah,
she's very dedicated to the character.
Yeah,
I think it's a drug joke.
Speaking of dedicated, the filmmakers weren't dedicated in this movie.
No.
What the Falk Show review was not very positive. Thanks for fucking listening. If I ended there,
shitty.
I'm not going to.
All-girl reboot. Didn't need to be rebooted. You could just watch Ocean's 11.
Technically, it's not a reboot, guys. It's a sequel.
You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, but they went down in numbers. Is that fair? So they said you're not high enough in points?
Because we talked about this. Because now they can do Oceans 9 and 10.
Yeah. And it leads to get to 11. So Oceans 10 is the one I want to watch when they all connect in the same movie as it's leading in.
That's
is that the Infinity War?
That's that would be the Infinity War of Oceans.
Does Captain Zeta-Jones come back?
Well, we can only hope.
Does Albert Finney make it?
Oh, that reminds me.
Albert Finney he actually does.
Cameos in this movie. There were like 2 cameos from the original.
Maria Sharapova, great.
No, he's talking about the movie
tennis player.
Serena Williams.
Olivia Munn.
Oh no, like from the original, like they had Saul at the beginning.
No, that was Ruben, wasn't it? That was Ruben.
Yeah. Saul died, I think.
Isn't Saul?
Oh, no, Saul's the older guy.
Saul was the Reiner.
Yeah. This was the Jew.
Rob Reiner's dad.
The Jew was in this movie.
Both were Jewish, but one is alive, and that was Ruben. Yeah,
they're both Jewish.
He played Ross Geller's father.
That makes so much sense. So much sense.
Yeah.
And Friends also had a guest season where Brad Pitt was on it.
Brad Pitt was on
it.
Boom.
Connection.
And then also it had a season that had Ant-Man on Friends.
Yeah. That was actually like the last 2 or 3 seasons. He was really good.
Interesting.
Yeah. Knowing's half the battle.
I want to jump into a movie that is actually going to be exciting, and that's the Bumblebee movie. Yes. That's the trailer that came out recently. I want to touch on that for a second. If any listeners are Transformers fans or haters, go ahead and let us know. Brooks Heavily, are you excited for the Bumblebee?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
Pissed.
Wow.
I mean, I don't. Have you seen the last Transformers movies?
Those
those
have Michael Bay. This one doesn't have Michael Bay next to it.
So we've never seen a non-Michael Bay
Transformers. We really haven't.
Movie.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Would you get a movie pass and watch it with us?
I mean, yeah, I watch it.
You're gonna watch
anything,
okay.
Though.
Well, I don't know if it was like
you guys watch the cartoon?
I'm just saying. I think it's gonna probably be shitty.
Did any of you guys watch the '80s cartoon?
Yeah, I watched it before.
They're definitely trying to have that feel. I can tell because they do the older Bumblebee, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
She's kind of like the kid character from the.
She's
from
often,
the cartoon.
She's often known to say that she didn't know she was thirsty until she tasted you. Is one of her song lines, which I think kind of takes away from the whole song.
By the way.
Oh, she did have a song. That's right.
Yes.
She has a whole music career.
I never knew I was thirsty.
Oh yeah.
She says
until I tasted.
She says, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Do things to your body.
Yeah. So she's playing, and then John Cena's her dad.
Well, she's also been playing
angry.
Gwen Spider-Man, whatever. Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse.
That looks sick.
That movie looks good.
Voiceover though.
Yeah, voiceover.
Okay.
Jake Johnson's playing Spider-Man, which is awesome.
So
he's taking over.
John your favorite guy.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
The best.
He's playing Peter Parker.
So charismatic.
Yeah.
I love it to Jake Johnson.
But that's a trailer that came out this week, the Spider-Verse. I think. It looks awesome.
Just more jumping off buildings, right?
I think it will be better than Venom.
Yeah.
Animation looks.
I would
cool.
say that too.
Yeah,
Like,
the animation looks cool, man.
add an animation like side movie, like that could be good. Like I'd like to see him do more of that.
Well, there's gonna be a bunch of Spider-Mans in that movie.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like,
the whole story.
Yeah, there's
like
a bunch of different.
dimensions.
If you had to eat a
lot of new
spider
trailers, not many trailers
or
came
5 cockroaches, and they were all in equal value of nutrition, which one would you eat?
Spider easily.
Why?
Just
The fangs,
cockroaches
and
are
the
gross,
poison,
man.
out. What kind of spider? Tarantula?
Black Widow.
We can get poisoned if
Yeah,
you eat it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, if you eat it through your
Yeah.
stomach, you don't get
You're not-
poison.
You can technically
Fact.
eat tarantulas.
Tarantulas. Okay.
But they're so hairy.
Yeah.
So people out there, technically you can eat tarantulas. If you're listening on this, in case you wondered, if you're in a desert, all you have is tarantula next to you, or a black widow, eat the tarantula. You're welcome.
There you go. Knowledge.
Well, the tarantula's bigger, so.
What about things that you guys have seen recently? Is that okay, Brooks Ellie? You want to get to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
part?
That's okay. I was just thinking of more movies coming up too, like
Kin. I'm
Kin.
all
Well, next
Kin.
week is The Incredibles.
Kins and August.
So that's the big one next week.
Incredibles. That I can't watch without my
And then
lady,
Jurassic
so if she
Park.
can't come, I'm not going to be able to
Yeah.
see it till later.
Hotel Artemis came out today.
That looks good. Jodie Foster.
Hereditary.
Hereditary also came out today.
Jodie Foster would have
Yeah,
been great in
there's a
Ocean's
bunch.
I am
8.
looking forward to seeing both those movies this weekend.
That little
Thank you-
girl
thank you, movie
scares
pass.
me. I'm just saying.
I can't wait. It's supposed to be actually a good horror
Toni
movie.
Collette. Yeah. Australian as well as also Kate Blanchett.
Jake Blanchett.
There's something else. I mean, it's not a big
Tag.
movie, but there's that like, yeah, Tag comes out next week too, right?
Tag
Yeah.
comes
With
out.
Incredibles,
With Incredibles.
and then the next week is Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
I think
World.
that's Jurassic World 2.
Sorry. 2.
Jurassic
It's
World,
not getting-
Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen
okay, guys?
Kingdom.
It's act like we know what we're doing here. Okay.
Actually,
Kingdom.
I'm looking forward to that.
The Kingdoms. Are you?
Yeah.
Who are you looking forward to?
The story.
Story.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the story?
I don't know anything about the story. I just think that the trailer gives very little
What is
away.
your pre-rating?
Ooh, that's tough.
Why? Just give me a number. I'm writing it down so everyone can see. I'm gonna write
Sweet,
down the
everyone
number.
can see.
Write
Everyone
down
can
the
see this
number
right
he
now.
says. Are you gonna think a 7 out of 10?
I was actually thinking 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay. What about something you've watched recently that people haven't seen? Like, give us some like actual expertise. You know,
That's tough.
you eat big nuggets and then you watch movies. What are you watching recently?
I've actually been watching movies. I've been catching up on Flash and Arrow.
Gross. Okay, Nico, what have you been watching?
That's not
recently?
gross. First of all, they have a really awesome crossovers episode this season. So if you guys are into Arrow and Flash and all that, it's awesome.
Crossover, very gross. STI.
I watched First Reformed
What's that?
on Monday. It
Oh,
was
nice.
Ethan Hawke, Paul Schrader.
Paul
movie.
Schrader again wrote Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver.
What? Where do we find this? Where did you
What
find
was
it?
that? Well, AMC 16, good theater, by the way.
Okay.
It shows a lot of independent movies. You just gotta. They don't advertise them. You just gotta check your movie pass or AMC
Yeah.
for every week.
What is it about?
It's like
He's a
in,
priest.
Promenade Mall.
And he's like
Oh,
giving up.
Promenade.
He's like
Yeah.
giving up the
that
faith.
was nice.
It looks interesting.
It's
Called what again?
It's pretty surreal.
What's it called?
First Reformed.
First Reformed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Nico
a
Persistent.
quote-
Check
who's
out
the-
that.
It's a deeper movie.
It's
Yeah.
deeper.
Paul
Okay.
Schrader, he does those type of movies, man.
Yeah.
He's against the world.
It's
Paul
still with
Schrader?
me.
He's the guy that did. He wrote
Something
Taxi
about it.
Driver. That's his that was his big first movie, and then he's wrote a bunch of other
So he has
movies.
the same name from the actor from The League, Paul
Yes.
Schrader. Interesting. Okay. Something I've been watching recently, and it's popular, but
This
it's
is the last word.
it's kind of a last word. Thanks for listening so far here on the No Bullshit at What the Folk Show. 2 different times you're listening happening right now, live. Unless you're listening later, then it's
You can't listen to them both of those.
it's not live anymore. You can listen at the same time. Go ahead and do it and hear the differences. I would say recently I've been watching Arrested Development. I'm getting into it late, but at my age now, being an advanced male, I like the humor. It's pretty funny. So if you're out there for that really, really dry humor,
Are you 40 now?
Justin Bateman, Will Arnett,
Man, I love that show.
go ahead and check out
Well,
Arrested
see, that
Development.
show was
David
awesome.
Cross does a really good job. It's like a running gag. So if you can get through like the first 8 episodes, and just know there was a lot of production issues because the writer's strike happened around then. That was a thing that happened in Hollywood years ago. Writers are also very important to the movies
Ruined
you watch
Heroes,
and
actually.
the TV shows.
Yeah.
So a lot of ups and downs in terms of production schedules, but finally on Netflix, it's all packed together, 5 episodes. I'd
Sure.
recommend it. I'd recommend
Good show. Good night. Shitty movie, but fun to see with friends
Yeah.
and to talk about it and to do fun stuff. So we'll be back next week.
it. Well, you didn't
Incredibles.
give us your thing that you've seen recently, though.
Yeah, all I watched, I think it was Ocean's 11. I just watched
You
that
recommend it?
one. Yeah.
Save your money on
Alright,
Ocean's
watch
8.
it.
Yeah, just
go ahead and watch
I think
Ocean's
I
11.
recommended it earlier in the podcast. I was like,
Yeah.
just watch the original one. Like, you don't need a reboot.
Yeah, you don't need a
That shit
reboot.
still holds up. So thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.
Or maybe it's a reboob because it was all girls.